Good morning, good evening. How are we all going this fine day? I got busted doing my posts. Sorry, I'm just like, empty that out, get that done. Welcome to this week's live chat. So one of the things that I wanted to run past today's more of like the standard old school Q&A. Drop your questions in. It's a conversational stream. But one thing I wanted to ask you about, which is the new hype feature from YouTube. So I have questions about the hype feature, and I wanted to sort of like, am I out on my own here with this? I don't know. So I thought I just want to jump in and, check the pulse of everyone else's thoughts on hype. Doug Hewson is here saying happy September. It is September the 1st here in Australia. It is, and do you know what? It's cold. It's cold, and so in Australia, our seasons 1st of September is the first day of spring in Australia. Don't think the memo went out, and while it's still 10 or 15 degrees or whatever it is, let me just double check. My house is just so cold. It's 15 degrees, which usually, that's a bit on the chilly side, but I am freezing. Like I got my woolly slippers on. Like I am that cold. I realized when I was getting ready to stream, I had my VidCon hoodie on, and I was like, oh, I should probably change that. I was like, yeah, let's not. But so Doug's here, put a Q in front of your questions. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Livestream Consultants was actually the first cab off the rank today. So thank you so much, Livestream Consultants. Those comments are up. Oops, hang on. I did the jiggery pokery with the buy me a coffee thing today, so hopefully the live stream alerts will work. Unlike last week, where it turned out Larry had actually sent me 6 coffees and we had no live stream alerts, so I felt really, really bad about that. The hype, the new hype feature. Now, I'm all for new features. I'm all for discoverability, especially of smaller creators, this channel being a smaller channel. And my other channel being a smaller channel as well. And, apparently anything from 500 to 500,000 is classed as a smaller channel from YouTube. I have questions about that. But when it comes to the hype feature, I don't not like it. Okay, so let's just start with that. I don't not like it. I think it's a really cool idea. But my questions are, if you can only hype horizontal videos or live stream replays, why can you only do it from a mobile? So there's that. Why does somebody have to be in part of YPP if to be hyped? So why do they have to be part of YPP? Why can't they be channel of good standing with a channel history? You can have that without being without being part of YPP. Those are smaller creators who could probably do with the hype. Why are creators with 500,000 subscribers who already have their silver play button, why do they have it? So, why do they have it? Doug's written $signs here. So, because and I may have this wrong, okay? So, which is, may clear up some things. So I know that right now everyone's getting, well, not everyone, but as it's rolling out, they're getting 3 free hypes. And I know that in the future, people can pay to hype a channel. So that there will be a dollar amount for that channel to be paid. But that channel doesn't receive the money, do they? YouTube receives that money. So why would the channel need to be in the partner program? They're not receiving any money. As far as I'm aware, unless down the track, if people pay to hype a channel, that money goes to the channel. That would be the only reason why I could see that needing to be in the YPP. But from what I'm reading, I don't know. Doug says it will be a split. So I may not have been reading the most up-to-date stuff because I don't have any links today, but as far as I was aware, YouTube are getting the money. So I don't know. Livestream Consultants says maybe there's a bigger plan in the wings. Absolutely, that could totally be it. But yeah, so I'm perplexed as to why it goes up to channels that are 500,000 subscribers, so halfway to their gold play buttons. So they've already got their silver and they're halfway to their gold. Since when is a silver play button holder a small channel? Do you know what I mean? Like, let me know in the chat. If you had a silver play button, or do you have a silver play button, and do you consider yourself to be a small channel with your silver play button? I personally don't consider 100,000 subs as a small channel. I know we do have channels out there with nearly 100 million subscribers. They're definitely the outliers. So yeah, Doug says, I reckon once you have a play button, you should be excluded. I agree. Or you know, like, and I know not, and this is something else for people to keep in mind. Just because you hit 100,000 subscribers doesn't actually mean that you will be eligible for a play button. There's extra features available, like extra sort of boxes to tick to get the play button. But yeah, I don't understand. Like, once you hit that 100,000 subscribers, you get a play button. You know how to make content. You know how to get seen. You know how to build an audience. Why then do you need this extra thing? Like, I think it's like, if their goal is to, you know, make smaller channels visible, then why is it for medium-sized channels? So, Livestream Consultant says, I could see it from 100 to 50,000 subs, but not bigger in my opinion. Yeah, like, so I mean, I get the 500 because, you know, the other limitation is you have to be in YPP of some level. So that's a minimum of 500 there. But yeah, I'm a little like, am I on the wrong page on this? Like, I could legit be on the wrong page, but like, why? Does any other subs, like any other not subs, any other platforms have something like this? Is this what is YouTube copying another playbook and I'm just not aware? Because I really sort of just stick with YouTube. I don't so much hang out in the others. I mean, I watch other things. Oh, sorry, got something on my face. I don't so much watch other things, but I mean, I watch other things, but I don't so much get into the weeds with the other things. Just so much YouTube. Doug says, I would not complain about that. Yeah, I don't really understand the logic behind it. Like, I mean, I already have issues with leaderboard. I think we should be able to turn it off on a channel level. I don't think leaderboard is appropriate for every kind of live stream out there. I think it's a fun thing that if it suits your audience, like if you've got a gaming live stream, then yeah, like I can see that. That's fun. But I don't think it should be automatically on and you can't opt out on a channel level. Like, I know us as individuals can opt out. I have. I know Doug has, especially in the channels that we moderate for. It was skewing people's results. And it was like messing up like the fun of it when all the mods had the top spots. So Doug and I both opted out once Doug showed me how to do it. And so yeah, there's just been a couple of things of late that I'm just a little bit like, why? Like, there's other things that we need. Like, where is mobile tagging? Like, seriously, where is mobile tagging? I just noticed in the stream today, we have channel handles in the stream today. We don't have, not handles, sorry. We have channel type, like channel names today, not handles. Sorry, I woke up not feeling the greatest, so my brain's a little foggy. So bear with me. I'm sorry. But yeah, we don't have the handles today, whereas in Nick's stream, there was handles. It's a little bit weird. Livestream Consultant says there must be something bigger if it's attached to that and haven't seen it yet. Otherwise, why have to be on YPP? I agree. What else is the plan to make it so that we have to be in YPP to have access to? Sorry, I don't mean to come in with a rant straight up. I have questions and I don't know the answers to them. And, you know, like, why is it doing it this way? Why make it 500 to 500,000? 500,000 is not small, you know, like you have a silver play button. It's a very inconsistent. It's very inconsistent because I know on my Fiberific channel, we had handles and then they're off and then they're back on again and then they're off again. It keeps changing. So the conversation keeps coming up in these live streams, like what's going on with my name here. That's not the name I have publicly, and I have to go through and explain to these people that they can change their handles, and I drop them their link because these are not YouTube people, these are viewers, and the viewers don't understand what's going on. Like we are people who are learning YouTube because we want to make content for our viewers, but the viewers don't know what's happening. So, you know, it's just, it makes it harder. It does make it harder. Yeah, I've got the soapbox out and the rant. I have tea today. My tummy's a little squidgy, so rather than coffee, I'm having tea, just a bit more delicate of the flavors. So let me know, do you have questions? Do you have questions about this? Look, I don't have pitchforks and I don't hate the idea of hype. I'm just perplexed as to why it's being rolled out the way it is. That's all. I'm perplexed as to why the creator has to be in YPP. I understand the person paying has to pay something, but Doug was saying there's a split. I didn't realize that there was a split on the on those that pay to play. So, and I'm just, you know what? I'm not the biggest fan of pay to play. Like she says with, you know, memberships on her other channel and liking to have buy me a coffees. And, you know, I see the irony, honestly, I do. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have enough information, and so my brain keeps getting caught on it, and I don't really understand the benefits of it. So, yeah, I mean, getting Renee on for a live stream would be insane. I could ask. I don't think he'd say yes, honestly. Yeah, but I could ask. I'm like, Renee goes on big channels, you know, like Renee hangs out with the big people, and I'm not the big people. So, you know, I get that his time is limited and he has to choose where he spends his time. In saying that, I'm putting words in his mouth because I've never asked him, so he has never refused. I suppose it's my own insecurities. He might say yes. You're right. I have not given him the opportunity to say yes because I've not asked. So I should ask, shouldn't I? I should. Yes, I will. I've got plans to start bringing in some guests. I have the software that I'm happy to use to do it now, which I'm really which I'm very happy with. Also, in the next, we're on the 1st of September. So on the 15th of September, I'm supposed to actually have way better internet here. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there, because that would mean I could just do it within Ecamm. But in the meantime, I've been enjoying Talk Studio. Now, I have a question for those of you that live stream, those of you that use the different softwares. Is it just me, or does Talk Studio not seem to be on the radar of everybody? So like Melda's come in and that's awesome, and I'm happy to see that exists. And like Evie Mux is great, you know, happy to see that exists. But I sort of just haven't really seen a lot about Talk Studio. Is it, I don't know. Is it because it was something else and rebranded and became Talk Studio? I don't know. But let me know in the chat. Livestream consultant says, Chantelle, though you are a smaller live stream, you are well known with some of the biggest people and creators on YouTube. I am, yeah, I get to hang out with some really amazing people and you know, just really been very lucky. I've been very lucky. But in saying that, I also I don't like to I don't like to take up their time. That's basically what it boils down to. Oh, come on, little pillow. What's going on? You just like lunged. Everyone like what I did to my pillow. It just lunged into my back. Are you up? There we go. Are you straight? I mean, you're straight enough. So overshadowed by their other products? Possibly. There seems to be quite a few products because I actually bought the Ultra package so I could check things out, but I am actually going to downgrade it to just Talk Studio. I don't really need all the extra stuff, and I like that I can do that. I like that I can choose Ultra and have all the bells and whistles. And even then, it's still only, I hit my credit card the other day. I think it was only like 33 Australian dollars. I'm just double checking that before I, go and make a hash of that. What's my bank? Where's my app? Because that's the other thing. Like quite often these things are all like listed in US dollars. So I've got to just double check what they actually are when they hit my account. Where are you? No, it came out at $41. There you go. Plus some international transaction fees. So about $43 in total. So 43 Australian dollars when StreamYard is now wanting 88 American dollars. Is that, yeah, it's American dollars that they want, 80 American dollars per month. I think, is it American dollars? Maybe it's Australian dollars, whatever it is. It's a lot. It's at least double the price. I don't think it's double the offering. As a matter of fact, I've been seeing people asking where different features are, and StreamYard have been pulling features out. So yeah, I think Talk Studio is a solid offering. Absolutely. I know, but I really do think I'm going to be looking at my subscription and changing from. I'm gonna look at the annual pricing and decide if I'll change over to the annual pricing, because sometimes you get a good deal. Otherwise, I'll switch down to just the Talk Studio on the annual pricing there. Good morning, Amazing Yacht Destination. So good to see you. Thank you for jumping in. A Livestream consultant says, I believe they'd be very interested in talking with your viewers as they are specific to the topic of today and others in live streaming, so don't discount that. You are right. So yeah, so I don't know. The thing with hype has just sort of been on my brain a little bit, and leaderboard as well. Like, I'll be honest, it does sort of, I don't know. It really feels that YouTube think that all live streams are gaming. When it comes to the leaderboard thing, and we know they're not. We know not all live streams are gaming. It's probably one of those instances where the majority of live streams possibly are gaming. I don't know. I don't actually watch a lot of gaming live streaming, which, probably skews my vision of it, because I watch a lot of live streams and none of them are gaming. Well, there's one. I watch one. And it's because she's a friend, and so I'm supporting a friend. But other than that, I don't watch gaming on live streams. Oh, hello. Just the voice is just going to just leave. Okay. It's like, good morning. How are you doing? Oh, not awesome. Also, no voice for you. That was weird. All right. All three big ones: hype, leaderboard, and tagging on mobile. I understand that they are bringing handles in instead of display names onto live streams, and apparently when that rolls out, that will make tagging on mobile possible. Obviously there's stuff in the back end coding, and I don't understand that at all. But it's just like, well, then just hurry up and roll out the handles in live streams. Like, why we test? Like, what's the test? What's being tested? How people are reacting to it? People don't like it. They don't like that they don't get to have their display name. They want their display name, which is why they chose a display name. But if you're going to make it so that's the only way you can have mobile tagging, then so be it. These are the options. Just make a decision. Make a decision and stop flip-flopping. Yeah. Either have it or don't have it. Or just come out right and just say, we are never having, we won't be having tagging on mobile in the foreseeable future. Like, there'll be some people that are upset about that, for sure. And then I think if you're not going to make mobile tagging a possibility, move channel moderator, managing moderator features onto desktop. If you can't tag on a mobile, you can't mod on a mobile. And therefore, and then why is all the managing moderator tools mobile only? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand why it's done that way. Like, a lot of the mods I've spoken to, most of them, not all of them, but most of them mod from a desktop or a laptop. When they're modding, they don't do it from their mobile device because they can't tag people. And so either make it so they can tag people or move the managing moderator tools to desktop. So I don't understand. I don't understand the issues there. And that's the thing. I don't understand the programming or why it was done that way in the first place. But yeah. A live stream consultant says, my YouTube at handles is the same as my public name. Me too, but not everybody is the same. So like for me on both my channels, like both Fiberific and this one, my handle is the same. When they first started talking about handles, I jumped in straight away and got the ones that I wanted. And I understand that some people may not be able to do that because they are unique now. So it's like grabbing your Instagram handle or your Twitter handle, things like that. You've got to make allowances for the fact that if you didn't get in first, you may have to change some things. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Doug says he's currently on his iPad and he cannot tag easily. Yeah, like you can make a tag happen if you sit down and type out every word, every character of someone's channel name. And then when it comes up in the feed, they'll see it and it looks like they've been tagged. But it's not like when you're on a desktop and you just sort of start typing and then the little list populates and you can choose which person you mean. So definitely not as easy, not as easy. And most people consider that as not being able to tag because it doesn't look like they were able to tag the person, even though the person on the other end, if someone's gone to the effort to actually type in every single character, it looks like they were tagged on the other end. Okay, that's cooled down enough. I can put its little lid on. It was a little bit hot, so I left its lid off. Because Yetis, you've got your little lids to keep everything nice and warm. So hopefully that will keep warm for the rest of the stream. So yeah, so I do have questions. I have questions about some of these features. I don't really understand how a lot of it's going. Now, my big question for you guys, are those YouTube events still rolling out around the US? And how are they going? I know that when they first started rolling them out, lots of people were going. They were lots of fun. I had lots of, FOMO because obviously Australian creators aren't important to YouTube, or creators in any other country aren't important to YouTube because there's absolutely no creator events made anywhere else in the world other than every state in the USA. So obviously I have issues. I was a bit like, there's not even just one in Sydney or something like that, like none. So, I mean, I probably would have traveled to Sydney just to go and hang out with creator friends. I went to, there was a Changer event here, which is the closest thing to a YouTube event we get in Australia. They are not, they're usually like an education thing. So it's usually like limited to people in a certain niche or certain channel size, or, because they're a small training company. And so, they do have to look at that sort of side of it as well. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm like, why don't we have one big party in Australia somewhere? Like if they can have one in every state in the US. Livestream consultants is they're on the mobile because they're 10 hours from their desktop. Yeah. Livestream Consult says, I've not seen or heard any hubbub about them from any creators I follow as of yet. I know Larry went to one and he said it was a lot of fun. But that was way back when they first started. Amazing Yacht Destination says, I noticed that Hype is not available in Thailand yet. No, I think it's in, it just rolled out to another 17 countries. I know that. But I'm not sure what the total number of countries is now. Is it 30-something countries that it's in now? It's a slow rollout. It's a slow rollout. When things include monetization, they do have to navigate things a bit more carefully, and the rollouts tend to be a little slower. Oh, but if I only rule the world, yeah, come on, this is my live stream. Yeah, Doug, I'm the same. My brain wants to say 37, but I don't know why it wants to say 37. Did I read something? I don't know. But I do think it's in the 30s. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I don't know. But for some reason, my brain's latched onto 37 as well. So I don't. Maybe we should research that and look into it. I'll check that after the stream. But yeah, all I know is it is limited rollout, and they do tend to roll out monetization things a bit slower than they do other things. That are rolling. Is it considered a rollout? Is hype rolling out, or is hype just one of those sort of limited availability things? I don't know what the exact wording is that they've used, because they're very specific about their wording. So I was in a live stream and they were talking about how you can A/B split test titles, and I was like, well, no, that's actually still experimental. Some people have it, some people don't. It's not rolling out yet. It's still experimental. And it just happened to be that a lot of people in this particular circle actually were in the experiment, but not everyone was. So then once people understood that it wasn't actually a slow rollout or anything like that, it was just experimental, it was like, oh, well, when the experiment's done, hopefully they'll roll that out. And hopefully their experiment won't last as long with the title testing as it did with the thumbnail testing. Arlene Smith, so good to see you here in the chat. Thanks for jumping in. Is it 39 countries? There we go. It's 39. Thank you. I knew it was, I don't know why I thought 37, but there we go. There we go. Thank you for that, Russell, for grabbing that. So my brain wasn't like spinning in the background of like, where is that number coming from? It was created. It was like a ChatGPT number where they just grabbed any number and went, that sounds good. Sounds good. Let's go with that. Lots of interesting things happening with the AI generative stuff. Let me know in the chat, did you see Nick Nimon's post about the thumbnails that he was creating with the different AI tools? I was blown away. Like, Nick's not normally one of those people that comes out and goes, well, thumbnail creators are cooked. It's not normally how he would word something like that. And then I was sort of like, I was expecting it to be kind of like a joke. And then I was reading the whole, Nano Banana, thank you. I was reading the whole, the post, and I realized, oh, he wasn't joking. He was serious. And then he'd used Nano Banana and one image of himself, or was it one image? But anyway, he showed one particular image that he had fed into it. And like, yeah, some of them still looked a little like, eek, but quite a lot of them were pretty on point. And you're just sort of sitting there like, I mean, it's cool for me because I'm not a graphic designer. I've still got to sort of play with it a bit more and feel comfortable with it. I'm one of these people that, it's probably a pride thing. Okay. So let's just lay that straight out there. I'm who I am. This is what I look like, right? I don't want to use fillers, like filters and fillers and things like that to soften everything, right? I don't do any of that because I don't want to bump into people in the street and then go, oh my gosh, you don't look anything like you do in real life on your streams. I don't want that. I don't want that. And I actually, through Fiberific, I really do bump into people that have only seen the live streams. And so I don't want that disconnect. And that's a personal choice. And I'm not throwing shade on anybody who does it. It's just what I don't want to do. So I've always been a bit dubious of what these different AI generators do with your image, because every time I threw my image through, it it really changed a lot. Like it didn't look like me. I looked at it and went, well, that's not me. Like there was like, the coloring might be similar, and only might be similar, but like they're like, slimming out the face and clearing up the skin and all this sort of stuff. And I'm just like, that's not actually what I want. That's not actually what I want in that instance. So, but then seeing what it was doing with Nick, I'm like, oh, I can have a go with this now. And I've got access because I do use, what's it called? What's the Google Suite changed its name to? Like I run all my business emails through like Google. So they've got my domain name on them, but it's got another name now. It used to be G Suite. Now it's something else. Anyway, I've got that. I've got the paid version of that, which gives me the paid versions of Gemini. And I just noticed the other day when I was in there, because I get Gemini to help me with some copy and some writing, that I was just like, oh, I've been offered, like go and check this thing out. Don't have time for that right this minute, but I'm going to go and look at it. And then I saw what Nick did with it, and I was just like, wow, okay, wow. Livestream consultant said, yes, it was it was interesting. Some you could absolutely tell, but some of them were very good. Yeah. And it's not that it's perfect, but have a think about what we were getting sort of 12 to 18 months ago versus what we're getting now. It is coming along fast. It's not going to be long before the majority of people can't tell the difference. There will always be people who can look at something and go, not quite right. In the yarn crafting world, there's a huge problem of scammers, basically. They're scammers who create what looks to be a crochet pattern using an AI image and then asking AI to create a crochet pattern for that image. Now, no one tests it. It doesn't work, but it looks like it could work. And people are paying their good hard-earned money for this stuff. So we're having that kind of problem. But yeah, it's people like some of these crafty ladies are getting better at telling the AI images. But as the AI imaging is getting better, it's getting harder and harder. Arlene Smith is on her phone as well, commenting from the phone while watching on TV. I do that a lot. My comfiest chair, like I love this chair, right? Love it to pieces. It is the second comfiest chair in my home. My couch is my comfiest chair, and I like to sit there with my feet up on my footstool with a little blanket on my lap and my craft and have things going on the television and either have my laptop or my phone handy for commenting. I've no qualms about having both open. Russell says that he's using AI for about 3 to 5 hours a day, laying out everything in his offer, his messaging, and his content. That is awesome. That's so good. I've never had anything against using AI as a tool, but being aware that sometimes AI writes stuff and people can tell it's written by AI, and just making sure you go in and add your own kind of like twist to it. I got no issues there. I got no issues. And there's so many things that just save so much time. Now, some of the areas that I have issues with AI is that there was work that I was doing that I no longer get to do now because these people use AI for it instead of a human. It makes me sad. But it's always going to be the case. As technology rolls around, different people are going to have to retrain and rechange and do things differently and better. Like what is it that in the Willy Wonka, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie, where the second one, where Dad is the person who puts the caps onto the toothpaste tubes, and then they get a machine in to do it, but then they need someone to fix the machine, so he retrained and became the dude that fixed the machine. And in the movie, is it called Talking Figures or Taking Figures? It's the movie about the women, the African American women behind the maths that got astronauts in and out of space. Hidden Figures is what it's called. Like, when they brought in the big computers, they no longer needed all these individual women doing sitting down and doing the math, but they retrained so that they could program the computer. They ended up with a job. All those other, because the computers were actually like women or people, And so the other computers were sort of let go, but there was a whole group that retrained in IBM. And or no, what was it? It was a particular language for something for, I can't remember what it was. But anyway, we all have to retrain. Things change. Retrain, learn new things, have a new offer, and put it out there. Live stream consultant says AI image creating quality comes down to how detailed the prompt is. Yep. Fortran. Thank you. Thank you. That's what it was. My brain, I was going to have to go and check the movie. Honestly, it would have been a horrible thing. I would have had to sit down this afternoon after lunch and watch a movie just to work that out. But yeah. Doug says, I use Gemini to voice dictate my live stream checklist and it turned it into a formal checklist so I can print and laminate and reuse or load it into an app to use electronically. Yeah, like in a job that I'm doing at the moment, one of the guys he was just going to get an idea, like he just wanted some ideas from ChatGPT, and ChatGPT came out with this phenomenal list, and we were both like, that's actually it. That's what we want. That's exactly what we want. Like it was originally just hey, help us not miss some things. And it was just like this laid out perfectly. And it was just so clear. And I'm just like, let's use that. Google Workspace. Thank you. It is. It's the Google Workspace account. They keep changing the name of things. Properly used, ChatGPT 5 will learn your style, your niche, and can give you content that matches or exceeds what you can do on your own. Absolutely. And this is the thing, properly used. And back here, it was depending on how detailed the prompt is. You have to learn how to get it to do what you want it to do. And that's a skill in itself. So, Doug says back in the day, he dabbled in BASIC. Oh, there you go. I didn't really ever get into that sort of side of things. I did, was it QBasic for a little bit, like a tiny amount, and then something changed and our company was no longer using that and they moved on to something else and they had other people for that, so that wasn't me. But I was still learning it to try and be helpful, and so I just stopped the learning process, so I didn't get very far. Was it QBasic? Maybe not. I have to look at it. I'd have to look it up. Oh my gosh, I remember my uncle had a tape deck drive. We used to play games on his tape deck computer. It was so cool. It really was, back in the 80s. It was so much fun. But yeah, we just, I get frustrated. I do. And you guys know it. I get frustrated sometimes when things move so fast I can't keep up. But the reality is, if we don't keep up, we miss out. And so having these sorts of things progressing and changing so fast, I'm beginning to be like, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to keep up? But being able to, and I think what it comes down to is being able to learn something, being teachable, being open to learning new things, not being stuck in your ways. And just sort of, you know what I mean? Like just going through and making sure my brain's literally paused, but making sure that you are open to the learning, open to the teaching, because the second you're like, well, I know everything I need to know, like, what else do I need? That's when you'll start falling behind. When you're like me with live streaming software, I got very comfortable using StreamYard and Ecamm. I was very comfortable, and then StreamYard did what StreamYard did, and I was like, wait, oh man, I have not learned a new live streaming software in some time, and it took me a little bit. It took me a little bit to sort of get comfortable enough to go, okay, no, I can do this. I've done this before. I can totally do this. But yeah. We have to be open to learning. We have to be open to change, because YouTube is constantly changing. What you learnt 6 months ago for YouTube may or may not still be relative. What you learnt 2 years on YouTube is probably totally out of date. Russell said he did some basic, played a bit with Pascal and some early C. and also did some machine level stuff. Was there, my brain's telling me there was something called C+. I didn't do it, but I was on the list to do it. Or C++. I don't know. It's this is stuff I was looking into in the 90s, and I didn't really go very far with it. So it's it's a fair way back for me to think about it. Tapes in the 80s. Yeah, well, I played with tapes in the 80s. It was C++. Thank you. Right. There we go. Yeah, they both came after the C. Yeah. I would assume that the C++ came after the C. I would assume. I mean, I could be wrong. Stuff happens sometimes, right? We know it does. Doug says he occasionally dabbles in Excel macros. Look, you know what? I struggle enough with like Excel lookup tables. There's a really great YouTube tutorial that I have to open every single time I want to do an Excel lookup table or VLOOKUP. And you're just like, oh man, why can't I just keep this in my brain? And my husband, who is like this Excel wizard, he'd be like, oh, you just go, and it's just like, slow down, I need to learn this stuff. So yeah, it's just, it's one of those things. I don't use it enough. I don't flex those muscles enough. So every time I need to go in and do it, it's like it'll be the first time in that year that I needed to do it. So yeah. Oh, Doug says he's very proficient in the VLOOKUP. Oh, there you go. And I think it's a great tool because quite often we do have different sets of data sheets, and they'll have one matching cell, but all the rest of the information is different, and you want to merge all that data together. Your VLOOKUP tables are great for that. But for those that don't know what I'm talking about, that's what it's for. But yeah, it's just, we just have to be open to learning the things. And sometimes my brain is not. Like, let's be honest. Sometimes I'll stamp my little foot and just be like, no, I don't want to. I want it to be the way I want it. But I come around usually and just feel like, fine. I'm like such a teenager. Like, oh, okay. So, but yeah, I get there. I get there in the long run. Oh gosh, I don't actually think I want to break my brain. But if you want to break your brain for live streaming, try Touch Portal. It's similar to Excel macros to work like a Stream Deck. I'll just have a Stream Deck. Look, right here. I just have a Stream Deck. I'll just have that. One thing I keep meaning to do, because Doug told me about it, is, oh, hello, things on my keyboard. That's not safe. Is the Stream Deck software. I need to update that. Because now if you plug in your physical Stream Deck to your computer, you can have like a virtual Stream Deck, right? Which is cool. So I tested the Stream Deck app back when it was just a basic app. And so I've got Stream Decks on my mobile devices. But then having being able to just have it all set up already on your computer as well, so that if I want to jump onto my laptop to stream something, the Stream Deck's is already set up. I've already transferred over all the things. It's exactly the same as what I've got in the different computers. Cool. I'll have that. I haven't set it up yet. It's only been out for what, 8 months? It's like, don't rush out there, Chantelle. Russell says, instead of learning these skills, I'm looking for VAs that can do them for me. Hey, like seriously, I'm all for being able to get external help in. Like, absolutely. I'm all for it. I think that we are just one people, like we're one people. We're just one person, right? And sometimes you have to decide what you want to focus your energy onto. And if you can pass over this sort of whatever this is, this particular chunk of something over to somebody else, knowing it will get done, that can take it out of your brain. Like, that task's getting handled. I don't have to think about that. I'm going to go and look at this other thing. And especially for you, Russell, with your having your bigger pictures and your bigger ideas, having somebody else to do the sort of the minutiae of the detail, or take on different sections of the work that don't actually need you. They need to be done, but they don't need you to do them. I think that's actually really clever if you can do that. Livestream consultant says he has to update his Stream Deck software also. I'm not alone. Thank you. Russell says I've just bought a 12-key Stream Deck for my laptop in studio too. Yeah, it is one of those it's one of those things. I think Stream Decks are just really handy. Look, the Stream Deck app is really good. So if you've got I'm not sure if it's still just iOS only. It used to be. But it's super useful as well. If you're a person who hasn't decided if you want to buy a Stream Deck yet, you can go and grab the app. I think you get 6 keys for free. And if you want to upgrade to basically any other size, including 64, which is great on an iPad, let me tell you. Not so good on a phone, but great on an iPad. I think there's an annual subscription fee. And it's only like, I think it's, let me just check what it is. I think it was around the $30 mark. Let me just look. Go to the App Store and go in here and look up Elgato Stream Deck Mobile. Let's have a look here. Because I've already got it, it doesn't give me the price. Someone else is going to have to look it up. I've already got it. It's not going to show me the price. Stink balls. But yeah, I thought it was around 30 Australian dollars or 33 Australian dollars. I'm not sure what that be. And while you can pick up like a, 15 key Stream Deck, relatively cheap, if you're a person who doesn't know if you're going to use it, having that extra piece of hardware that then you have to sort of get rid of, having the software version in a digital device that you already have. Like, I stuffed it into old phones that Abby gave me, so it wasn't being taken. Like, I was able to still use my phone for whatever I needed it for because it was on like an old phone. So I wonder if it's still on here. Let me see. I can see if I can show it to you. Stream Deck. I don't know why all that's open. Let me go to, there we go, right there on the front page. Now go away. So basically, let me just see if I can bring in my thing. iPhone share. No, wrong phone. I don't want that one. Stop that. No, that's the widget. I don't want to edit the widget. I want to edit the phone. The phone image. Look, I'm not as suave with Doug as this. Like, let's be honest here. I actually set it up with this other one. I set it up with this one, but for some reason the new phone just tries to take over. I want the widget for the phone. Phone screen share. Where are you on my list? It keeps trying to be the widget. I don't want the widget because the widget's taking up the entire screen. Maybe if I just lock the widget, then it won't let me change that. Like, come here, widget. Locked. There we go. Now, there it is. The second you lock the widget. Cool. All right. There we go. So there we go. So here, thanks for all those. So here you can still set it up. You can put your pretty skins on it if you want. You can actually choose what size of layout that you want to have. I've gone for the classic because that's actually the same size as the physical one that I've got, so that I can actually set them up to be the same. So they are separate sorts of things here. What's going on here? Oh, I'm not standing up, by the way. My stupid phone is like, it's time for you to stand up. So you can go in and you can change that to be whatever size that you want. And so you get all the extra spots. So, you can see that I've been just filling out these ones. But you can go in and you can you can do the 8x8 if that's what you really want. Which on an iPad is really good. On my phone, the BMAC is blocking the view. Thank you, Doug. Let me just move that. Nope. That one. There we go. So you can have like the 8x8 if that's what you want. Way better on an iPad. At least for me and my my fingers that are this size, because I hit the wrong ones. I need the bigger ones because I'm blind and I've got little chunky fingers. And you can also customize it. So you can have like 8x4 if that's what you want. And so you can go in and you can change it up, and you can also change up the background if that's what you want. I'm just putting back in what I've got, the classic. You know, you can change the faceplate. So right now I've got the galactic. I can have that one done. And so you can change the background to be more than what you want. So you can, this is a really great idea if you don't know what you want yet. If you don't know if you want the physical hardware and you happen to have a device that this works on, this is an old iPhone 7. It works just fine. It works on my iPad Air 4th generation, I think it is. So it's an old iPad, so it works on that. I know it works on all the new devices as well. I'm just trying to, you know, if you've got an old phone in your drawer, maybe it's worth going and having a look, especially like the free little 6 buttons. So the 3x2 is not awful. If you just need a couple of, you know, little things for something, it's not awful. So, you know, you can test it out. You can test it all out. So it's a really super duper little tool. And obviously you've got access to all the different, like if you want to go in and change, I'm just like, you know, I don't think any of this is currently set up. Oh, no, it is. There we go. You know, oh, there you go. I didn't even know if it was. I will hype that up. Woot woot. Yay for things actually working. What are the chances? I haven't used it on the phone in so long. I did not realize they were still connected. Like all the buttons still did what they were originally set up to do. So that's super cool. But yeah, so you've just got all these options with it, and obviously, like you can set them up separately. So I've got a Stream Deck mobile. I also have I can't change that there. But I also have like a different version set up for my Stream Deck iPad. So so I've got different so when I go into the Stream Deck software on my computer, I can actually go in and pick which one I actually want to change. You guys need those as chat commands. They're not GIFs. I got them. Oh, did I bump something? I pulled a cord. I did. There we go. Don't do that. 0 stars. Yeah, they're not they're actual files that I got. So they're not actually GIFs, but there'd be a way, right? There'd be a way that we could make it trigger a file that's actually on my computer somehow. I don't know. And I don't own the rights to these. Like I have, like, because of I did a workshopy thing a few years back, and we all got these as part of that. So I'm allowed to use them, but I don't have the IP rights to them to go and add them to like Jiffy or something like that. So yeah. Could a chat command trigger a file? I don't know the answer to that, to be honest. I really just don't. Maybe not a chat command as such, but maybe a like an if this then that could do it. You know, if somebody does this, I think there'd be a way. I think there would be a way. It might take some time, because the if this then that can take some time to sort of trigger things, because I was playing with the if this then that setting up to, you know, if like, because I think, Doug, do you still use if this and that on your like to turn on that light in the background when somebody does a super chat, or are you using something else? No, I thought we were using if this and that. Anyway, you could there'd be a way we could do it. We could play with it. I could brainstorm it and look into it, because some of these are fun. And that's just a couple of them. I actually got an absolute pile of them. Let me just see. I've only set up a couple of them on my thing. So, you know, we saw the love, we saw the hype. There's gold. And then we've got falling money. Money? Where's the money? No, it's not coming. Falling US dollars. I must have moved some files. They're not all showing up. Let me just see if any of the paddles show up. No. Oh, there we go. It just took a little minute. I wonder why that took so long to happen. Let me look here. We've got paddle love. Got paddle with hands for clapping. that one for laughing. There we go. There's that one. I think it's taking a second because I haven't used any of these for a while, so it's like checking path files and stuff. And then there's fire. But yeah, I really love, like, you know, this one and that one. They're my two favorites, the hype and the love it. So, which is probably why I set them up and didn't set the others up. Although, what's that one? What did I set up there? Oh, that was just the waving money. Okay. So there we go. I just set up a couple of paddles. Let me just see if I go back to 5x3, if there's more paddles in there. Oh, there is. Look at that. I'd set them all up. There's gold. There's fire on a paddle. There's falling money. There's that one. And this is one I actually built myself. I watched a tutorial that Shelley Saves the Day did. And when I first got my Mac, because I wanted to learn how to do some stuff on Keynote. So I made this. I made that all by myself. I'm very proud of it. Don't pick on me. I'd never done anything like that before, so I was pretty happy with it. Yeah, so having all these super cool things is pretty awesome. Let me just go back to this one here. What are you doing, big boy Lou Dog? Are you a bit cold? We turn the heater back on. I turned the heater off when we started live streaming. It was, you know, because it's quite loud. So, you know, it's one of those things. You can set cool. I'm not quite sure what that means, but cool. Yeah, I didn't make them, but they were so much fun. They really made this whole online workshop thing a lot of fun. Everyone got access to them. Then we were told at the end, like, hey, you get to keep these. So we were just like, oh, that's awesome. And so, you know, that's they're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun. So the only one that I made was the super chat one. But like, seriously, with, like, you know, with some help from the AI machines, we could probably have some fun and create some that are a bit more specific for us. So I don't know, like, or for your audiences, there'd be a way to do it. I'm just not someone much cleverer than me in, like, After Effects or graphic designing or whatever it is. They made those. They did them great. And now I'm like, well, they're really cool and I like them. Why? What else? I don't need anything else. I'm happy with those ones. But if we had something in particular that we could, you know, that we needed, I don't know. My brain's just like, what else we need? But, like, you tell me, like, is there something else out of those? We had love, hype, gold, the falling monies. Like, what else do we need? Like, is there something else that would be like, okay, Chantelle, you need to sit down and learn a thing, because you need this thing. Because that's how my brain works. It's like, oh, you need this thing? Okay, well, then you're just going to sit down and learn this entire new piece of software just so you can do this one little thing. It was like with Keynote. I wanted to make that thing, so I opened up Keynote for the first time and had to learn where all the screens were and what they meant, what they did. I'd never used it. That was the very first thing I made in Keynote. So, yeah, it was just like, oh, luckily the tutorial was phenomenal. Let's just go with that. Without the tutorial being, like, so step by step, then I would not have been able to do it. Doug said he made some in Canva and has uploaded them to Jiffy. Jiffy. Oh, we need some rants and some pitchforks and some torches. Oh, no. Are you right? We do. Oh. So Doug's made some in Canva. I might have a look at Canva because I made my, you know, my little coffee video. I made my coffee, you know, for those of you, the supporter page video. Let me just see this one here. I don't know if you can still hear me, but I made that one in Canva and I really enjoyed that. I thought that was pretty cool. Was it Canva? I think it was Canva that I made that in. And it was kind of like the first video I ever made with Canva. I've never been like a big video person in Canva. So, and thank you. Also, thank you to those supporters. So I'm assuming they're still up to date. I haven't checked. But either way, thank you if you previously supported and no longer support, or if you still support that way. So thank you for that. I need to go and check. I should check that. I think they're still right. But yeah, I think pitchforks and torches could be a lot of fun. Just marching across the screen. Oh dear. Live Stream Consultant said he's made a few GIFs in Canva as well. Russell says, I remember my first real computer, a compact dual floppy with a built-in screen. Your excitement over these little projects reminds me of the excitement I felt marveling at what it could do. Yeah, like sometimes it's just like the small things that make us happy, honestly. It was just something I got to sit down and learn how to do. And I actually love to learn. And sometimes I have to remind myself of that, like, oh man, it's not going to work anymore. I'm going to have to go and do it. And it's like, actually, remember how much you actually like digging in and learning a new thing? Like, keep that in mind, big girl. I should possibly put my thing back up. There we go. I love to learn. I love learning things. I love nutting out softwares. I actually love to do it. But sometimes I forget that I love to do it because I get caught up in what I'm doing and like, well, I've done it this way for however long. I do. I'm like, oh man, I read a post yesterday and it made me laugh so much because it was just like, the post was, I can't do this anymore. And then in brackets, it's like, I know I actually can and I will, but I need to overreact first before I calm down and just do it. It's just like, oh, hello, my life right there in one little post. And I was like, oh man, I love this. I absolutely love this. I have to remember it. And unfortunately, I can't remember who wrote it, but I love that. I just thought it was like, oh, that's me. I just need to overreact first, then calm down, and then just do it. Yeah, pitchforks and torches and villagers marching across the screen. Yeah, that's what I reckon. That's what I'm thinking, like, how in like Shrek, how they had them come out, like something similar to that. Not that, obviously, because that'd be a protected IP. But, I wonder if there's actually a GIF for that and we could just use that. I don't know. But yeah, something like that. Russell says, I used to like those things as a respite from necessary work, but now I see them as time robbers. Yeah, I don't know. I've got plenty of things in my life that are time robbers that I absolutely love, and I'm not going to stop. So knitting, crocheting, spinning, weaving, playing games on my phone every now and again. They are legit time robbers. They legit just take time. I am in the process of knitting a shirt, like a long sleeve cotton linen viscose shirt. I could absolutely go and buy one for less time and less money than what I've spent on supplies. But I'm not going to because I take so much joy and enjoyment from doing that thing and I'm not going to rob myself of that. I don't know. I suppose it depends on how we view things. We all view things a bit differently. So some people look at cooking as time robbing. And so when they get to a certain level, they stop doing all their own cooking and get their meals pre-made and delivered to their homes. Different things are a time rob versus like, because there's time robbing and then there's enjoyment out of what you're doing. And if there's like that little Venn diagram, like, the overlap, sometimes you've got to let something rob your time. I was reading and I can't remember what I was reading. It was a book, but I can't remember the name of the book. But basically it was talking about how, children these days don't understand how important being bored is for imagination. And people are just filling their time with so much stuff that they're actually not stopping and just letting their brain create something. They're just too busy like loading it with like TV shows and sporting events and, and for kids, it's like there's school, then tutoring, then after school sports and all sorts of after school activities and, all this sort of stuff. Then they come home and they have dinner and they go to bed because they're exhausted. And then they get up and they do it all over again. And then the weekends are team sports and, all that sort of stuff. There's no time in there for boredom. And boredom starts out as boredom. But then they're like, well, I'm bored. It's like, oh, well, how am I going to not be bored? I'm going to go and build this out of sticks in my backyard. So being able to go in and just utilize that boredom to become creativity. And I think we as adults do the same thing. So we fill our lives with all the important things. We're like, right, like, do you have to pay bills? So you've got your job, you've got, your housework and your tidying and your lawn care and all these other things that need to be done. But then we fill all that extra time with other stuff as well. Like can't be seen, like you've got the hustle culture thing going. Can't be seen not doing something, because of whatever reasons. So you must fill all this time with important things all the time, or seemingly important things. I think it's really important. I think it's really important to just sit back and let yourself be bored every now and again, and sort of so your brain can come up with a solution. Sesame Street was very huge on imagination. Russell says, I would not call knitting a time robber for that. For me, that might be fishing. It's part of who you are and want to be. Absolutely. But scrolling through IG posts that offer nothing toward your goals is a time robber. Well, unless your job is social media and you're trying to see how, trends are happening. What audio is being used by lots of different people, things like so scrolling through IG posts that offer you nothing towards your goals might be, well, I suppose you just said it there, nothing towards your goals. If you're a social media thing, that doesn't, then it is your goals. So I'm going to back up off that one, because you're right, you continued on the thing. But yeah, but like I was having a conversation with my husband because he was working from home, and he was just like, you're just sitting out here doing nothing. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm sitting out? Because I was sitting out on the couch with my blankie and the TV was on and I had my laptop in my lap and I was sitting there on my phone. And he's like, you're just sitting out here on your phone. And I'm like, I've responded to like 15 emails and been Slack chatting with the team that I work with. I've gotten this done. Like, how am I doing nothing? And it was a perceived nothing to him because I wasn't sitting here and I wasn't using this computer. It was perceived that I was doing nothing. Yes, what I had on was some YouTube videos in the background that was totally not relevant to anything. But my brain needs background noise. If everything's dead silent all the time, like I need some silence sometimes. But if it's dead silent all the time, my brain starts making up its own white noise and it uses its own mental energy for that. And sometimes the white noise is the mean brain talk. So if I just have something on in the background, whether it's a YouTube videos or Netflix, Prime, music, whatever, it doesn't matter. If I have that on in the background, I can concentrate better on what I'm doing. It's like when I'm knitting, I quite often listen to training and things like that, and I'll knit, but not complicated things, just basic things. And that action actually helps me to concentrate more on what I'm listening to. Obviously, it's not the same for everybody, but, it's just one of those things where it helps me to concentrate better. So, doing things with it's like my husband knows I'm sick if I'm sitting watching television and not crafting. He's like, are you okay? I'm like, why? It's like, because your project is here and it's not in your hands and you've got the TV on and you're just sitting there watching the TV. Because it's so rare for me just to sit and watch TV. I have something in my hands. It's usually just some fun craft. It's nothing, stressful or anything, but yeah. Russell says, I spend an average of 30 minutes a day sitting in silence to let my heart pop up over my brain. I get my best ideas there or in the shower. Isn't the shower one of those amazing things? The number of times I've had to be like, I don't want to forget that. So I'm like, because my phone's in the bathroom, I yell out to my phone to take a voice note. But who is it? Tiffany Lee Bymaster. She has a thing that she like, it's a shower noteboard that she has in her bathroom, because the number of things that just come into her head while she's in the shower. It's just one of those for me, anywhere with water. I love that. It's just how it is. Livestream consultant says, yes, I need the background noise as well. Yeah. And like some people find it distracting, right? And I get that. Like it doesn't work for everybody. Some people find it distracting or annoying, you know, and I'll admit sometimes there's like, oh, well, like, you know, I'll have something and I'm like, well, that's not working, and change it onto something else. It's going to depend on what it is. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Amazing Yacht Destination says, I love your productivity stream. It also helps me. Thank you for saying that. I love the productivity streams, and they feel like, they feel selfish for me, if that makes any sense. I do them for me because I need that reason to just sit here and do something here at the desk. Usually it's a task that I've been putting off. It started out, I had a blanket that had 11 million ends to weave in. It is not a job I like, but it had to get done. So I decided to do it that way. And that's it. It grew from there. And it's just time. It's like you're allowed to have this on. We try to make them for about 3 hours. You're allowed to have it on. It's just create a mixed music going, and me every now and again responding to the chat, nowhere near as much as I usually do, and just checking in, like, how are you going? Where are you up to? What are you doing now? So yeah, it's one of those things. Russell says, my wife was constantly sewing all the time, everywhere. It's the nature of crafters. I think it is. I think you're right. I think it is. Just about everyone I know that knits or something like that, if you see them anywhere in the world, they've got a project in their bag they can pull out and show you. Like, it doesn't matter. If they are, like last night, I was really lucky, or yesterday afternoon, I was so lucky to be able to go down to Ballina, which is a couple of hours south of me. My brother-in-law was playing in a blues band. We just sat and chilled. I had a couple of cocktails even, sat and chilled. And then I was sort of like looking around. I'm like, I'm just pull out my knitting, and I just started knitting on my beanie while I was listening to blues, drinking cocktails. I looked over, my husband sitting there with his really relaxed and comfortable, and I was like looking at what he was doing. He just had a Sudoku on his phone, like just listening to the music and just enjoying it. And like there were people who were giving us the side eye, like, you know, like, well, I mean, I think they didn't realize what he was doing on his phone, but for him, that's a brain calming thing, you know, like it's just a like kick back, enjoy the music, enjoy the ambience. We had like our own table with chairs and stuff. It's not like we were in like a mosh pit situation, and just sit back and chill and enjoy things in your own way. And I didn't pull the knitting out straight away. And then I was sitting there, I'm like, you know what this is missing? This is missing knitting. So I'm just sitting there knitting on a beanie. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Russell says, I have a pad on the counter next to the shower. It gets dripped on sometimes. Yeah, absolutely. That's why I yell at my phone, because I don't want to drip on it by typing it in. I'll be like, you know, hey, phone helper, take this note. So yeah, it's one of those things. Chris says, my projects are too big to fit in any bag sometimes. Any bag, haha, sometimes they don't even fit in a garage. Yeah, I get that. I have different projects for different things. I definitely have some projects that don't travel. They are not travel projects. They are staying at home projects. They either require some big equipment, or they're just bulky and I'm not lugging them around. I'm very lazy. I tend to take a beanie, or like, you know, a little knitted hat or something, or socks or something small that can just fit into my existing handbag. So yeah, so I'm lucky that way. My projects can be small. Goodness me. We definitely sidetracked, didn't we? That's right. That's what today's stream is all about. It's just questions and talking, and we're all people making our lives on the internet, well, not our lives, but our livelihoods on the internet. So we all do it in different ways. A live stream consultant says, like airplane parts or trailer frames. I get it. I've been watching a lot of like car build kind of content, and I'm like, I wonder how hard it would be to learn how to weld. Like, I like stuff. I like hands-on stuff. I build things. I've never welded anything. Everything I've made has always been out of timber, so I can do some cool joins and stuff. All hand tools though. I'm not a big power tool, except for drills. I use drills. Not a big, you know, circular saws stress me out a little bit. But I wonder if if circular saw stresses you out, you don't think a TIG welder or a MIG welder is going to stress you out? Possibly will. Possibly will. So I haven't gone down that path. Also, what am I going to build? Also, I don't have a garage, so whatever it is would have to live on my back patio or in the elements. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? No, let's just put a pin in that and just move on. Oh, I nearly threw my cup of tea everywhere. But yeah, like I love learning new things, and sometimes those things are at all like, you know, they're not at all in any way related to anything. Do you know what I mean? Like there's stuff I know how to do that people are just like, but aren't you a knitter? And you're like, yeah, but I'm not only a knitter. Like, how many people here in the chat only know how to do one single thing in their life? Like, I'm sure all of you, positive all of you know how to do more than one thing. Positive. And to a high level as well. Positive. Welding is an art form. Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. TIG, MIG, stick. What is that one? Heliarc? I don't know what that one is. Or heliarc? I don't know. I know TIG, MIG, and stick welding. I don't know the other one. I know of them, I should say. I know of them. I've never done any of them. But it looks like I would enjoy it. Making the little fat caterpillars in little circles. I think I would enjoy that. Not me. My list is too long of what I know how to do. I know. Like I was chatting to someone about something and they're like, oh, you know, that's not really your field. You know, you're doing this. And I'm like, yeah, I did have a different, like I haven't always done this. I've been in the workforce for some time now, and YouTube actually wasn't even around for the whole of my workforce life. Like, yeah, sorry. I know like YouTube's been around like for my daughter's entire life and, you know, like things like that. You're just like, it's not been around for my entire life or probably yours. So other things, I've done other jobs and had other interests like I can play guitar and I can play a little bit of piano, not very much. But enough. I can play enough. I can play enough piano so that I can do my scales correctly for my singing, because I can sing a little bit too. I should word that as I can sing. Whether anyone wants to hear me sing, totally different conversation. But like, so I've got like this musical sort of section. My whole family all like, we grew up all playing guitar and stuff like that. You know, so there's this musical thing, and then there's like, you know, then there's the technological stuff I love learning how to do, whether it's new softwares or playing with hardware. And I totally geek out on hardware, and I have to be very careful not to overspend just to play with the thing. You know, then there's that, and then there's the yarn crafting stuff, and then there's the gardening. I used to grow so much of our own food when I was able to, you know, dig holes and not do my back in with 5 minutes in the garden, things like that. Like, you know, like all these sorts of different things. We all have different times in our lives where we learn different things. And whether they're still an active part of your life now may not be the thing. Like I don't play so much guitar now, even though I still have one. I probably need to restring it. But, you know, I don't garden as much as I used to, although I miss it desperately. So, you know, it's yes, some of us still have that dial-up connection noise permanently implanted that triggers us. Newer generations will never hear it. And even if they hear it, they'll hear it ironically. They won't hear it as like oh no, quickly hang up the phone before you disconnect the internet of whoever in the house is currently on the internet, or, you know, like all these sorts of things. Like they won't have the actual, like, you know, or, you know, when it's taking too long and it's having too many goes and you're like, you know, reboot everything and unplug it all and set it all back up. Or, oh no, I'm out of minutes. I have to go to a physical store to go and buy a new CD with more minutes attached to it. Like, yeah, it was different times, different things. So, but yeah, I can play guitar. Not awesome. Like, in our family stuff, I always played rhythm. I'm not a lead guitarist by any stretch of the imagination, but I can play some solid rhythm guitar. Enough to carry myself. I've even done a couple of live performances on stage, which terrified me. I'm probably never do that again. So I learned that I have to look at my feet or my hands while I'm playing on stage. If I look out, my hands all of a sudden don't do what they're supposed to do. So I learned that one the hard way. Oh, look, there's 20,000 people. Oh my gosh. My hands literally just forgot what they were doing. Oh, quick jump back in. Okay, cool. So yeah, it's one of those things. Oh my gosh, my son found an early AOL CD tin. I'll have to take a picture of it and send it to you. Oh my gosh. Because that's the thing, that like their computers don't even have CD drives in them anymore. I'm like, I wanted to play a DVD. Like, hello, I've got great big screens in here. And I used to like just chuck a DVD into my laptop and I would play because I have box sets of everything. I'm a physical media person. And I would and now I can't. So I'm like, I need to buy a Blu-ray player that I can connect to my Mac. And my daughter's just like, oh my God, why not just stream it? I'm like, I want to play my DVD. I want to play my DVDs and my Blu-rays. So I haven't done it yet. And you can totally buy them, but I just haven't gotten around to it. It's one of those things I flip-flop. I'm like, do I really need it? Do I, probably not. We've got a pile of DVD players around the house because we had them had a couple of TVs and we would play DVDs on them, and then those TVs we end up sticking hard drives onto them, and we burnt all the DVDs onto the digital media, which not all of them are on there, which is the problem. The ones I want to watch not there. I might need a cassette tech or an 8-track. Look, seriously, we've got a record player. Abby's got one. She bought that. She wanted that for Christmas, so we got it for her for Christmas. And she went out and bought herself some albums. And she plays it unironically. But yeah, Livestream Console says I have my DVD CD player as a USB external drive. Yeah, and that's the thing. You can just buy you can do it. I just haven't done it. And there's nothing. I don't know about an 8-track. Can you even still get an 8-track? I don't know, but I've got no issue. I've got a tape player on my old stereo. I got no issues with that. I'll play it off my 78 RPM record player. I like technology from every era. I prefer my computers being smaller. Let me just be clear about that. I very much like my computers being smaller. Not needing an entire big deep desk just to stick your big CRT monitor on it. I definitely love having flat screen monitors. Love that. Love that I can stick them on articulating arms and shove them around wherever I want. Love that as well. Absolutely. Game changer. Yeah. There are some technological changes that I'm very happy with, but some things is just, hello, I spin wool, right? I have a spinning wheel. I have more than one spinning wheel. Yeah, Yeti time. I agree. So yeah, we all have our own things. We all have our own things. Things that we love that may be older or newer or whatever. I like both, old and new. I'm going to put it in my background as it still works along with some of my ham radio gear from the early 70s. Yeah. I wonder what speed 33 records. No, we have the same record speeds. I don't know why. I don't know. Yeah, I think I do remember with 33 and 78, and were there 3 things you could choose? Click, click, click. I can't remember. But yeah, I think they're the same speeds. But yeah, I don't think it's the same as the frame rate thing, because the frame rate thing is more visual. So it's, it's different power fluctuations causing different visual flares. So, thank you. It was the 45 I was missing. But yeah, it's the visual flares. So oh man, there's this. I like prize homes, okay? I think they're cool. I also like the charities that they quite often, at least in Australia, that they quite often raise money for. So I tend to buy some prize home tickets. I don't buy them in every draw or anything like that. But I could live in that house to buy a ticket kind of thing. One of the companies that has been doing some of the prize home stuffs obviously had their cameras set up wrong, right? Like wrong. So if you hit the Your Town YouTube channel, like YOURTOWN, Your Town YouTube channel, not their most recent videos, like not some in the last couple of weeks, but for a couple of months previous to that, whoever was recording their videos, like, it looked like the houses were haunted. Seriously, the lights were flickering, and like it was just insanity. I was just like, I couldn't watch them. So I'm like, certainly not buying a ticket. Can't watch the video. Can't watch the walkthrough. No idea what the house is. Can't buy a ticket. Can't. And because I don't allow comments, I couldn't even like, hey, someone needs to be looking at the settings of the I think it's a phone that they actually use to record the video. Someone needs to look at these settings. It needs to be 25 or 50. Your 60 frames is not working. But yeah, it was just like, ah. But yeah, that's a different thing. I still need to get me an old reel-to-reel and a Super 8 movie projector. Okay. Yeah, we've definitely gone into squirrel mode, haven't we? It's like, hi, my name's Chantelle. Have you met me? Like, hello. Yeah, definitely squirrel mode has been engaged. It definitely has. So yeah, like there's a lot of different things that we all like to do. And I love that. That's what makes us all different. Like that's what gives us things to talk about and converse about, different opinions on things, different skills, different knowledge. Like I know how to use a record player-ish. Admittedly, I did. It took me a little second to remember a couple of things. But I don't know how to make a record. You know, like so if someone knows how, I know that I've watched a video on it. I'd like to find an old ARC stage light. Oof. You probably would have a better chance getting one in the US than I would in Australia. Yeah. Yep. They'll be around. You probably know where to look for that sort of stuff, but I would be looking at old, like stage storage companies that have all like the posters and the billboards and that they quite often end up with a lot of the gear in storage as well. Don't know if it'd work, but worth checking into. But yeah, lots of different things. And I love that. I love that we've all got like a different history and that we're all here on YouTube though. You know, like that's the thing. We've got like different backgrounds for everybody. We all didn't work in the same industry and then decide to go into YouTube. We all came from totally different walks of life. We all come to YouTube with very different ideas and very different like niches and topics, but we're all still here. So I love that. On that note, my friends, I'm going to run away. I've got some other things I need to get done today, unfortunately. I don't know if I really feel like doing them, but I need to do them. And I will catch you all here next week. Keep your eyes peeled. We've got some guests starting to be lined up over the coming months, starting to bring some people in. I will definitely make thumbnails and let you know when we do have a guest on, so it's not a super surprise. Every now and again we can make it a surprise, I suppose. That's also fun. But yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. All right. You have an awesome week and I will catch you all next time. Bye now.